Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Analyst here, and I hope all of you guys are having a good morning, evening, wherever you guys are from. And Bitcoin is getting ready for a death cross on the one-day time scale. Now, this is something that is very significant. It has pushed Bitcoin down thousands of dollars in the past and is getting ready to happen for one of the second or third times in the history of Bitcoin. Now, this is obviously something very significant. It doesn't happen a lot, so I want to make sure we go in depth about what it's done to the price action before and what it could do this time around, because it is definitely one of those trend-setting factors on BTC. So if you guys are interested, go and stick around for the video, and do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. With that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this, because there is certainly a lot to talk about. So if you guys don't know exactly what a death cross is or what it has done, I'm going to be going over that. But first of all, guys, a death cross is when the 50 EMA crosses downwards over the 200 EMA, and for this case specifically, on the one-day time scale. Now, this can happen on the 3-day, it can happen on the 4-hour, but it's not quite as significant on those time scales. So for this example, guys, in the sake of argument here, this is how close we are to having this death cross on the one-day time scale. So with this, of course, with this yellow EMA being the 50 EMA and this pink/purple one being the 200 EMA, this is quite literally just days away from happening. Now, when this does happen, it's not like, okay, the death cross happens on this day and then it just dumps for that day. It is more, this is kind of changing the trend of the market. Now, we have been in a little bit of a downward trend for a while now here, but if this death cross does happen, it can really extend the duration of this trend a whole lot longer than what it should, or at least what it could have been. So with us getting, again, just very, very close, it almost looks like it is imminent at this point, like it is can't be stopped. Now, it is possible to fake this out. I mentioned this in yesterday's video looking at this from the 4-hour time scale. We have seen fake outs of this sort of stuff happen before. Now, this is the 4-hour time scale. We saw a death cross happen, and then of course we saw the golden cross. Looks like it was going to play out, actually got rejected not once but twice. So is this possible to happen on a one-day time scale? The answer is yes, but I don't think it's going to be a probable scenario. It's certainly not something that I am betting on. But again, it has happened before. And if you guys want to see an example of this on the one-day time scale, we can see that happen right over in here. Now, this one was a little bit more obvious that it was going to be a fake out, because it quite literally just had a death cross and then looked like it wanted to have a golden cross. Things tend to not work like that. Usually, again, these are trend-setting happenings. I don't want to call them formations because they're not a candle formation, but when these EMAs cross over each other and you have a golden cross or a death cross, they are really trend setters. And so this one is a little bit more obvious. The death cross, of course, the fake out of the golden cross, and the continuation in this downwards trend. Over here, we had a golden cross, and look what it's done for the price action of Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and take a look at the past examples of a death cross, and then talk about what the future of BTC could look like if it has a death cross here, because it's definitely not an ideal one for any kind of bull. Maybe if you want to accumulate. So on this past example, guys, of course, we had a golden cross really being the first kind of cross, any kind of significant cross in the history of Bitcoin, happening all the way over here on around the ending of August, beginning of September of 2015. Now, of course, it had this I believe, what was this? It had this golden cross actually with the EMAs crossing over each other. Maybe, I'm sorry, this was October. It had the golden cross happening all the way back in October, and of course the price action just kept going up and up and up and up and up. And of course we all know this very monumental run, but it wasn't until we had our first significant death cross during March, around the end of March of 2018. And of course, when this happened, and from the moment it happened, Bitcoin went from around $9,000 all the way down to nearly $3,100 until it had a golden cross at about 4.7K, and then of course ran all the way up to nearly $14,000. So now that we are at an area where we are getting ready for one of these significant cross events again, this could really move the price action of Bitcoin down. And in fact, if we're looking to any kind of these fib retracement levels, it could move it anywhere from the mid to low 5,000 range. Of course, this would be the bottom of this channel and the 786 fib retracement, or it could even move it down to the top of former resistance, now turned support at this 4.21 or around this 4.2K area. If it wants to go for a new low, I believe that if it really does break this 4.2K area, I think that it's very possible for Bitcoin to have a new 12-month low. And I say that, and not to kind of try to scare anyone out of this or FUD this, but just kind of recognize that if it's able to break through all of these supports, I'm not sure if this one can hold. Now, again, I know it's the 12-month low. I know it's going to be strong, but it's very possible that it could, potentially move down even towards that 3 to maybe even low $1,000 range, but I don't think that $1,000 range is going to break. I think the buying pressure in that zone is going to be incredibly high. So at the lowest I see this going is $1,000. I don't even see it hitting there if this death cross happens. I think that the most likely scenario is that it's actually going to get caught at this $4,200 area or above, somewhere kind of in this golden pocket over in here. I think that it will actually trend down for months if it does have this golden cross, at least a month or two. Just because of the way that these guys work. If this actually does play out to be just some sort of giant fake out, which again I don't think is the probable scenario, but still a possible one, then I think the Bitcoin would immediately start turning back and pushing towards this upper $10,000 range and probably even towards this 12K range. So now that I have both of the targets kind of developed on Bitcoin, one of the things that I want to acknowledge that on this one-day timescale, guys, volume has been falling off since summertime. Now, this is no kind of hidden thing. It's very obvious that this volume has been falling off. Yes, we did have this really good volume candle over in here, but it's nothing compared to the ones that we were having over in here. This large volume candle was kind of just like the norm in this whole entire area, anywhere between June and August. So with the volume continuing to fall off over here, it definitely is telling me that, one, a large move could be coming very, very soon. We know that when the volume tends to fall off and get squeezed, in a sense, that larger moves tend to come out because it's like holding back the pressure in a volcano until it kind of just explodes. It's the same sort of way in theory that candle charts use support and resistance, and when they get squeezed, they kind of explode as well. So could be looking for an increase in volume in really before the end of this year, probably pushing into November, December, when we are going to see another explosion in volume. Whether that's going to be to the up or the downside, again, that's really far in advance. I would imagine that we would continue downwards over here and then have an explosion in positive volume. So that's kind of my theory, is that we could be going all the way back down to around 6K and then seeing an explosion and buying pressure up from that area. So that's kind of my prediction about where Bitcoin's at right now. With indicators and oscillators, guys, are looking ever so slightly. I mean, we're looking pretty neutral for the most part, but on the one-day time scale, it's still not too bad. It could absolutely set in a higher swing low over here, and that would be a really good situation, especially bouncing off of this oversold territory. It would kind of be an ideal move for Bitcoin to really kind of set its way back in an upwards trend. And if you're looking, again, sorry for all these dots, I definitely have to clean these guys up, but they're meant for the 4-hour time scale, and they just don't translate over to the one-day time scale. But the point that I'm trying to make over here is that it's very clear that Bitcoin has been in this downwards trend. I mean, you can see it very, very clearly on this RSI, lower swing highs, lower swing lows, just consistently one after another, after another, after another, after another, and the same thing with the swing highs, just increasingly falling, showing us, really kind of affirming the fact that we have been in a little bit of a downwards trend over the past couple of months since about the middle part of summer. So working our way into this winter, guys, as we are kind of chugging our way through fall right now, I think that we could actually see an open up in price action towards the mid to end of this winter. So around New Year, I definitely think that Bitcoin could bounce, but until then, it looks like it wants to continue trending downwards. And with this death cross just being so close, I don't really see a reason that it would be counteracted in this area. There's a little bit of buying pressure from the Heartline, but again, a death cross is just so significant. Something that has really only happened twice in the history of Bitcoin. One, when it was very, very early off, and two, back in 2018 after the significant run. So we could be on our way to see, very well on our way to see our third death cross on Bitcoin, which is exciting and scary at the same time. So hopefully you guys did find this video entertaining. Hopefully you guys were able to get something out of this. If you guys were, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as it does help out the channel a lot. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. This is going to be, again, at crazy times, something that has quite literally only happened twice in the history of Bitcoin. So I want to know your guys' thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Do you guys think it's going to have an impact, or do you guys think that it's just kind of another thing in the background to add to the many list of possibilities in technical analysis? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.